But let's talk about a little football here. I'm excited to get your take on a couple things. Aaron Rodgers comes back to Lambeau. He now has agreed to a restructured contract with the Green Bay Packers. I'm not 100% sure what all the ins and outs are. I don't think we've been told all of them exactly yet. We do know that the updated cap situations for this season are $27.5 million. Then updated cap for 2022 is $46.1 million. Now, that is vastly different, I guess, because the money that the Green Bay Packers would owe or have dead if they were to trade Aaron Rodgers has gone down. It is less money now, I believe. It's $26 million as opposed to like $40 million or something like that. If it's a pre-June 1st or a post-June 1st trade deadline, whatever it is. I believe more information will get leaked about this contract as the days go on. Who controls what, how it goes. Aaron's got a gift from David Bakhtiari this morning, an Aston Martin golf cart, which should be dope. Your thoughts on that situation? Because we haven't gotten a chance to chat about it.
Yep.
He's back. That press conference was awesome.
Loved it.
Now he's got a new contract. Now he's getting gifts. Seems like he's smiling. Cobb's back in there. Your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and how this whole situation is handled?
I mean, obviously he was upset with. We know who he was upset with, and his teammates still like him, so that's a good thing.
Really?
Still like him.
What? No.
I think he got the press conference. I mean, it was amazing because obviously everybody's been talking for him all this time. He took a break, got his mental right, and took shots at who he needed to take shots at. And now he's back in the locker room, and I'm sure, those guys. Once you show up for camp, it's all about football and trying to win. And you got the reigning MVP back in your locker room. I mean, you're ready to roll.
Yeah, and the thought, and there was a couple of these from people that were in similar in the locker room. So you expect them to understand situations a little. You just naturally, I just expect that. There was some thought, I guess, and some chatter that maybe the teammates wouldn't respect Aaron Rodgers. And that was obviously before he went and did that press conference. This was about him coming back and then not being around for the long haul. So do they respect and trust this guy? It was more than a few people that were saying these things.
You got that were in the locker room.
That were in locker rooms, right? Like that was my biggest problem. If it's a journalist, cool. Like that's a fairy tale story you can create, but that's not just real life. That's not how it is. So when I saw players say that, it was vastly interesting. But then after that press conference, and I want to ask your opinion, when he walked back into either the locker room after that press conference and everybody watched it, or into the dorm room, wherever they're staying, what do you think the reaction was of the team? Hey, okay. Our guy! Hey, you went out there and you fucking handled that, didn't you? I can't believe you. Hey, all right. Hey, that is all. Like those types of situations are things that I think will actually bring the team together more. And Trent Dilfer called it the bunker mentality. And that's like a great way to describe it. And obviously Bakhtiari now is all ready for Aaron being back, and plenty of others. And Randall Cobb's obviously pumped. He said his teammates are telling him like it looks like he just got fresh out doing some time there whenever he came back to Green Bay. Green Bay is like a Fortune 500 company, and Houston is like a startup, says Randall Cobb. No disrespect to Houston, he said.
No disrespect.
It's just very different. No disrespect. It's just a much different situation. I think that Aaron's teammates probably love him even more for everything that's happened, and they should, because he set a precedent now going forward that could potentially alter some things.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta act how you can afford to act, right?
Be who you can afford.
Be who you can afford to be, and obviously A-Rod can do those type of things. Everybody can't, but he spoke up. One of the things that stuck out the most to me about that press conference was him speaking about guys or veterans that weren't treated right on their way out. Guys who the average fan may not think about. Micah Hyde, Casey Hayward, James Jones, all these different Seawood, obviously, and they weren't treated right. But he said a lot, and I'm sure that a lot of those other players in that locker room want to say. But like I said, once it's time for football, it's time to go, and we got our general back. So we're not. Talking about where is he long term and shit like that. Everybody has their own personal shit in that locker room, and as long as you got 12 out there jogging out that tunnel, you got a shot to win every game.
Listen, we're all on one-day contracts anyways, aren't we?
That's right.
Chuck Pagano. Remember that? He was like, we got today. Listen, we got today. We have no idea what we're going to get tomorrow. So to worry about what's going on 5 years, a year, 5 weeks, 2 weeks down the road, what are we doing? We only got contracts for today. We're lucky to. And that's like a real thing in the NFL, though. And there's a difference between the people that make it and the people that maybe don't make it as far as they should. And the people that make it have the mentality like, hey, today could be my last day here. Yeah. I could get cut. But then once you understand your worth, it's like, how do we maximize everything here? And how do I allow and help this franchise to grow even more. I mean, it's one of those things where hearing Aaron say, I want to recruit for them, I want to get people to Green Bay and everything, I think, and I might be mistaken here, but that's like a GM's dream. Like we got a Mount Rushmore guy who wants to bring people to Green Bay, Wisconsin to play. It's like
not a vacation spot, not a vacation destination.
Did you hear Gutekunst speak afterwards, by the way? There was this smug arrogance almost, and it was like, I understand he's a general manager in the NFL, okay? Very impressive. That is not an easy thing to do. You got to do your thing. But after what just happened, and I think he was potentially feeling as if the narrative that he was pumping towards ESPN folks was still the narrative that everybody felt. I don't think he got a good read on the situation post Aaron Rodgers press conference where everybody was like, oh, well, actually, that guy might be a fucking idiot up there. Right? And he came in there and just was almost like, I don't want to say passive aggressive, but he was. He was like passive aggressive, and you could just tell like this seems to be a ticking time bomb with this particular guy. And Aaron is going to be the one that people side with, especially after that press conference, more so than anybody else. What do you have, Todd?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's interesting because you mentioned, I think it was yesterday or a couple days ago, hey, you know, he's a general manager. Like part of that, yeah, he's brought some good talent to Green Bay, but the other part of that is like managing that talent that you do have. And when you alienate, you know, two of your best players in a single offseason, like that says a lot about your duties as a general manager.